Top of the hour, let's begin with some breaking updates because today, the 19th of August, marks the Afghanistan Independence Day. It is the 102nd Independence Day, but this time around, it is under the shroud of fear by the terror activities and the atrocities that continues on part of the terror group Taliban. But demonstrations are likely to take place across the country as expected as a show of resistance against Taliban. On Wednesday, the Afghan flag was raised in several regions, which ushered Taliban's brutality. Even in Jalalabad, the pictures there on your screens where protesters there carrying the Afghan national flag, taking out a protest, were actually fired at by the Talibani terror group. It is also being said that several journalists were beaten up, but in that firing, it was being reported that many of those people had also lost their lives. As we continue to put forth the Afghan crisis that is taking place, as India is also seeking the evacuation of several of its citizens that are still said to be stranded there. Now, what is being said till now as far as Afghanistan is concerned, there has been a latest statement that has now been put out by the former Afghan President Ashraf Ghani, where he has gone on to say that it was important for him to leave the country, else he had to avoid mass bloodshed. He has confirmed that he is indeed in the UAE. He has denied taking any public money with him, and he claims that he still has a role to play in the Afghan politics and the effort to achieve peace. Let me straight away go across to Crispino, my colleague, joining us from the Mumbai News Hub. Crispino, it's been over 72 hours. We are looking at the Taliban takeover there, but still a very precarious situation there prevails on the occasion of its Independence Day.
Absolutely, a big crisis there unfolding. And what we're looking right now, Amita, is a wave of anti-Taliban protests right now in Jalalabad, Asadabad, as well as coast. But it comes at a price. We're looking at anti-Taliban protests, but the Taliban has resorted to firing. We're learning right now that 5 people have died due to Taliban firing, as well as several others are left injured. So what the Taliban actually promised, amnesty, that is not being done here. We're looking at the Taliban, in fact, targeting civilians, not just at the protest sites there, but also at the Kabul airport. We had seen how they were stopping people from going to the Kabul airport. They had, in fact, done a crackdown on those civilians as well. The Taliban really attacking the civilians, because here we're looking at support for the national flag. We had seen the protesters there in Jalalabad, raising the Afghan national flag, and they're opposing the flag of the Taliban here, and they really want their freedoms intact. So it's basically a wave of terror by the Taliban, going back on what they had promised, going back on those statements here. And we're looking at a very tense situation here. And the next couple of hours, we have to see what really pans out in this war-torn nation. But remember that even as we speak, the Northern Alliance is trying to gather at this point of time under Saleh, and we have to see how they oppose the Taliban as well, those developments as well.
Absolutely, because what is being said, it's an irony rather when all of Afghanistan is observing the Independence Day, but they are actually seeking independence is from the terror group. We're looking at how the entire situation continues to pan out because it's the 102nd Independence Day, but this time around it is under a shroud of fear by the Taliban taking over the entire Afghanistan. What is being said that today more demonstrations are expected to take place across the country as a show of resistance against Taliban. Crispino, thanks very much for the moment for getting us those live updates.